The adoption of battery electric vehicles is a conversation and topic that's been covered by just about every publication here in Ireland. They generally weigh up the claimed ranges, the speculative costs of all of these new EVs that are coming to market. Here at Cartell, we wanted to give you real data and my own personal data of driving an electric vehicle and the costs associated with it. So the data that we're actually going to be looking at today is in relation to my own personal vehicle. So I have a 2025 Tesla Model 3 and I do have the standard range. The WLTP figures show that my car should be able to go about 520 kilometers. The claimed efficiency is 13.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And on top of that, the claimed peak charging speeds range from 170 to 173 kilowatts at a fast charger, specifically a Tesla supercharger. We purchased this car back in September, and as we've already discussed, the claimed ranges and the claimed efficiencies from WLTP and from Tesla themselves, I'm seeing about 15.85 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Now that is within sort of the typical range, I suppose, albeit not as efficient as the 13.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers that was stated. But keep in mind that we bought this car in September, so we really have only had a chance to sort of live with it for the last couple of months in colder weather and inclement weather. There's been a couple of storms, so we really haven't seen this car yet at its most efficient. But with that being said, I'm quite pleased with how efficient it is, and range has never been a problem from the different road trips that we've been on. From everyday driving certainly isn't an issue. I think this is worth mentioning. So I'm a huge petrol head. I've been driving diesel cars, petrol cars for years and years and years. And it was a bit of a mindset shift for me. Typically if you're running low on fuel, you drive to the petrol station, you fill up, right? So that same sort of idea when you're filling up or you're charging up to 100% with an EV, that's not really how I do things anymore. Typically what I'll do if we go on to our road trips, I go up to Belfast all the time. And what we'll do is we'll go up to Belfast, and usually on the way down we'll need to stop for a quick top up. Now that top up generally takes about 15 minutes. So we usually run into the Apple Green just off of the M1, grab a coffee or something very, very quick, and then pop back out. And by that time we're ready to go. But we wouldn't charge up to 100%. We would charge up to maybe 70% or 75%, essentially just enough to get us home, because I have the Tesla home charger installed at the house, and the electricity at my house is much less expensive than it is at public charging. Now, in terms of public charging, the claimed figures for sort of the peak charging performance, it was claimed to be 171, 172 kilowatts. On my car, now specifically at Tesla superchargers, I've been seeing 180, 182, even 183 kilowatts at one of those superchargers. With the charging curve, I find that the charging curve is quite flat up until about, I would say maybe 50, 55%, somewhere in there. Typically, I would plug in at a very low state of charge, so I think the lowest I've gone is about 6%, plugged in and straight away ramped up straight up to 182 kilowatts. Now, as we got closer to 50%, it did start to taper right around 50%, and it held 130 to 135 kilowatts, all the way up to, I think it was about 60%. Okay, so the verdict. Let's go back to Neil Briscoe's article that he wrote for CarZone. He asked, are EVs still cheaper to run? Well, I would say let's look at a couple of examples. So if we are charging publicly, that cost per kilowatt, it works out to be at a minimum 60 cents per kilowatt hour dispensed. To charge my vehicle from 0 to 100% at, say, a Tesla supercharger, that would work out to about 36 euro, or a cost per kilometer of about 8.8 cents. Now, if we compare that to if I charged my vehicle from 0 to 100% at my house, well, then that number falls drastically. So the total cost of the charge would be €8.46, which works out to about a 2.1, 2.2 cent per kilometer. So
Let's look at the lifetime then of the charging history of my car. So my car has consumed 1,043 kilowatt hours. Now, if I were to charge all of those 1,043 kilowatt hours at a public fast charger, I would have spent over 600 euro to get the mileage that I have currently from a public charger. To compare that to if I'd only charged at home on my 14.1 cents per kilowatt hour night rate, that would have cost about 150 euro. So I guess to answer the question, are EVs cheaper to run? Well, if you incorporate your home charger or a home charger into it and you're willing to invest in it, then absolutely, you'll absolutely save money when compared to an ICE vehicle or charging publicly. If you like this video or want to see more videos like this, please leave a comment below, like, subscribe, or let us know what you'd like to see in future videos. If you are considering an EV, just remember that there are a lot of EVs on the used car market as well. Now, I will say, before you purchase a used vehicle or you're interested in a vehicle, you're looking into it, always run a cartel history check on the vehicle to make sure that there's no outstanding finance, to make sure that it hasn't been previously damaged, and just to make sure that the vehicle is roadworthy and safe.